This is Moto Miami, and it has some of the most insane supercars I have ever seen. So let's check them out.
To Stuttgart now, and
Good morning, YouTube. We are at one of the biggest hypercar meets in all of Florida. It only occurs once a year. It's called Moto Miami. So let's check it out. I'm excited to see some crazy cars. I drove all the way down to Miami with solely for this. That guy just randomly let someone rev that P1. I think that's a P1. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not too educated on my hypercars, supercars, but that was crazy. And then look at all this carbon fiber here. Just take a look at the interior. What the heck? Look at how fancy this hotel is. I'm in the bathroom right now. I don't want to be too loud, but check this out. This is crazy. This is definitely a high-end event. You want to talk about unique? Check this out. This is a Lamborghini Sion with a Joker paint theme that also fades into carbon fiber. So no, this isn't a wrap. It actually fades all the way from white to purple, and there's carbon fiber incorporated. How crazy is that? You don't see that every day. Definitely sets it apart from the crowd. Now we're gonna get into like the speed tails and the Ferraris and stuff. So how many in a row can you have? I actually really like that Jag. Pretty rare. Never seen one in person until now. And then check out all of these. Now this is probably gonna be the coolest car to a lot of you because it's a Bugatti Divo. Hey Zach, you whipping this one? You whipping it?
Much kicking in the old Purser.
You gotta wear the goggles though.
The goggles? I totally
Yeah, you don't see them? You gotta wear the gloves and the goggles.
Oh yeah, there's the goggles.
Yeah, right there.
Solid way to just kind of roll over. I love how the fire extinguisher is right there.
Just in case. How's the Maybach?
Amazing. This color's crazy. It's so sick. You notice that, you guys? Who wants to be the chauffeur? This ain't even like, I thought it was just black. Are you the chauffeur? No, it's a colorblind people. It's just black. So Zach doesn't know what color it is, but.
If you guys have watched The Wolf of Wall Street, you'll know that Jordy had a crazy Lamborghini Countach. So they had the 25th anniversary white on white with the white interior, obviously. This was pretty cool to see because that's one of my favorite movies, and I do really like this car. It's probably one of my dream cars if I could ever get one. Wait, is this the one you guys saw or no? You saw a similar one, right? Yeah, in West Palm?
Yeah, there was one down in West Palm on Flagger Drive. The guy like lives on one of the mega yachts there. I think it was like very similar spec to this. Just this one is full carbon and the wheels are different, but either way, it's still a Chiron. It's stupid.
Now this is the Aston Martin Bulldog. Sure, we saw tons of super and hypercars, but this is actually probably one of the rarest cars there, as only one of them were ever made. So it was actually designed in the 70s. It's super impressive. It featured a twin turbo V8, absolutely massive mid-engine setup. That thing is awesome. Anyways, the interior is super nice, and it reached a top speed of 200 miles an hour, or I think it may have been over 200. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me on that, but pretty impressive considering it was made in the 70s. Now, if you guys are wondering how much it sold for, being it's a one-of-one Aston Martin, it was roughly $20 million. And the same guy has owned it for a while now. So you got the Huayra. I really like the Huayra look. I think this tops it all. This is my favorite car here. And then you got the Senna GTR. We saw one of those at Monterey Car Week, but I never got close to it. This is my first time actually getting close to it. And just look at the carbon fiber on this thing. I don't think these things are street legal. Obviously this one is. And the titanium exhaust, man, with all the purple and the blue. I think we also saw one of these at Car Week. Now I found this zinger. I'm not entirely sure if I pronounced that correctly. I want to remind you all I've never seen this thing before, but I found it interesting because A, I've never seen it before, that's the obvious reason, and B, the precision with the carbon fiber and the passenger seat was pretty interesting. So as a passenger, you sit behind the driver and it's all arranged in the middle. It's not like you sit in the left and right, which is the traditional setup. This was awesome. I think Nikolai and I are gonna go to an RC store while everyone else does other stuff, but look at this Ferrari that just pulled up right next to my car and parked next to it. I've seen so many supercars today. I'm a bit overdone on that, but I think we're gonna go to an RC store and possibly fly my plane, maybe check out some RC cars. I'm not entirely sure, but he should be pulling up any second now in his GR Corolla. Bro, that thing looks sick. I like how it looks on those wheels. Really? Yeah, it's clean. This is their Airbnb setup. I really wanted to check out the GR Corolla because I've actually never seen one of these in person. I've never been in one. It is pretty sick. It's a 3-cylinder, and as you all can tell, it's got that center exit exhaust, so we're gonna see how this thing is. So collaborating with Nikolai was awesome. I checked out his GR Corolla. Fun fact, all that Alcantara you see in there is not from the factory. He stuck it on or glued it on with a kit. Pretty impressive, it looks great. And then we got to ripping it, and the thing was a blast. It surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I thought it was way overpriced, but it handles like insane.
Through the tunnel also, it sounds, there's like an underpass. It makes it a little bit louder. It sounds pretty cool.
Holy crap. There is like no understeer, no oversteer.
No, that was full throttle in third gear coming out of it.
What the heck?
A little bit.
Yeah, you definitely.
All-wheel drive. And that was actually in front bias, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah.
It kicked the back end out.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a slight.
But see, it's controllable. Like, it's super
Yeah.
well maintained, even through something like that. It just kind of kicks out, and it's fun. Here, watch this.
Holy cow.
The next day.
Day 2, we are currently on the way. I'm exhausted. This is the second day in a row that I've slept like 4 hours, but we're gonna get some awesome videos today. I heard from a little bird that we might actually be able to catch the 100 more cars that are coming today when they roll in. Here they are. Finally, we've been waiting a minute.
Yeah, Maybach, the like Mondelez G-Wagon thing.
Oh boy, look at that.
All I know is that it's expensive.
bang the limiter for 10 seconds straight. Now personally, you guys probably know this, I'm not a big supercar guy, but I came across a video of an F40 shooting flames one time when this guy was doing highway pulls, and I was like, this is awesome. I definitely gotta own one of these one day. So I think if I were to ever get a supercar that's vintage, or, you know, something that's considered antique supercar, it would definitely be an F40. Who owned this?
So Lil Uzi and Floyd Mayweather both own this Bugatti Veyron. Then it was purchased by Ed Bolian, who is the owner of VinWiki. And come around the back.
I had no clue about any of this, by the way.
Got a custom license plate. EB Ed Bolian, which is also the initials of the actual Bugatti founder, creator, I'm pretty sure. This thing is so mint. It's so sick. I've watched all the YouTube videos that he's done on this car.
Look at this thing, though. Finally get to see the interior. Oh, wow.
Oh my And we did that day without it. Just like
race car, believe it or not. This car is the 1907 Renault A1 3545 horsepower Vanderbilt.
Moving over to Stuttgart now, and this is the 2009 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren Sterling Moss.
So fun fact, these are actually the Queen's Range Rovers and Land Rovers. She actually sat here, so think about that. Pretty wild. You can see how they were modified for her to sit in the back, and then we'll move around to the front in just a second. What is this, like a 2010 or? Huh? 2005.
It's a 480 GT.
Can you guys tell that I've had enough of Moto Miami? We are out of there. I am so sunburned. I was like, I cannot be out here for any longer or I'm gonna start feeling sick. So I left. It was really a fun time linking up with all those guys and seeing those cool cars. So Jackson and Will actually just finished up with this first rally Supra, and it looks insane with the lights and everything. We definitely got to check this thing out in full and see how it is. They even raised it up and put rally suspension on it, so that's a pretty unique build if you ask me. And it's got like all the liveries too. So I do sincerely apologize. Jackson and Will had to be up in Orlando to meet up with their friends, so we didn't actually end up having time to link up and do a full tour of their Supra, the Rally Supra, the first Mark V Rally Supra in the world. Anyways, instead of doing that, you guys know that I'm gearing up to sell my Audi in order to move on to building a C5 Corvette. Well, I knew that my friend Andy has a twin-turbo C6 Corvette, and I was like, this will be perfect for the video. Let's check this out. We didn't get to do any pulls. Again, running on a tight time schedule. He was going to Texas 2K the next day, so he didn't have that much time. And we just checked it out briefly. It sounds insane. I really want to twin turbo the C5 that I build in the future, and then it came down to me test driving its C5 like 2 days after that. So I went to a dealership, I found one with a rebuild title, it was flood damage, and they wanted way too much. I figured I would test drive it because I absolutely love the color. I loved everything about it. It drove perfectly fine even though it had the rebuilt title. The only problem I have with this red one is the fact that they're asking $19,000 for a rebuilt title C5 Corvette. just not worth it. That is C6 money in my opinion. So we're gonna have to do some negotiating if I am gonna get that C5 after I sell the Audi, but I figured out I would test drive it. Well, since I was in the area anyways, my friend G hit me up. You guys might recognize him from my old videos. He helped me put the Whipple supercharger on my Camaro. I more or less taught him a lot of things about cars when we did that install, so he wanted to tag along and see what I was doing. Anyways, he asked me to weld some frame mounts to his frame in order to hold up his intercooler for the twin turbo kit that he's putting on his C5. So I went ahead and did that. He had a very small welder, $100. It only had like amperage. You could not manipulate the wire speed. So it was pretty interesting. And honestly, my welds didn't look too bad for flux cores. So I welded up the whole thing, made passes all around on each side. And then we mounted up his intercooler just to make sure that everything would sit right. And then also mocked up the turbos so you guys would get a general idea. So this is coming soon. It's still a work in progress. And he'll have a full twin turbo C5 Corvette. I'm happy that I could contribute to that. Maybe I'll help him out with more of the project, but for now he's got some solid welds with the flux core gun, and that is not gonna break off at all. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Maybe we'll buy a C5 Corvette within the next month. Wish me luck in selling this Audi.
What's up guys, this is Zesty Wash and I'm going to show you what it does today.
I said